Hello YouTube world, my name is Nicholas Montez and you're watching my YouTube channel, The Teenage Movie Critic. Welcome back to another YouTube channel, everybody. I'm so excited to have y'all back here together again. And in today's video, we're going to be doing another video. If you don't know, yesterday, well actually 2 days ago, was the Super Bowl. And probably one of the funnest things about the Super Bowl is, while you're having a big game for a lot of sports people and you get the time show with Rihanna and all these other people, you also get some movie trailers for us movie fans and some new movie news and TV spots and all that. So I thought I would go ahead and rank all 12 TV spots and trailers that we got for these upcoming films. And what's crazy is that some of them were TV spots and then some of them actually launched the trailers. And then there's some people that there's some movies that actually did come out, but I didn't see the teaser for them until later on. So here is my ranking of all the TV spots that we got and trailers at the Super Bowl. Now, of course, I'm very excited for this film, and if I'm being honest, I'm not really ranking them based off of how excited I am for the movie. I'm ranking them based off of how I thought about the teaser spot and all that good stuff. And the TV spot we got for Cocaine Bear wasn't that long. It felt I think it was 15 seconds long, maybe 10 or 5 seconds long. But overall, it was okay. Just adds a little joke of the bear doing cocaine and all that. Nothing too serious though. Now, as I've always been excited for the 65 trailer, once again just doesn't show too much about what this film is going to be. Granted, I've always liked the trailers for this movie, but it doesn't really add too much. It just adds more Adam Driver and dinosaur action that we're getting from this movie. So that's all we get. Now this one actually works a little bit better because it actually adds a couple of new scenes, and it's a little bit longer where you actually have a little bit more thrills and of trying to run away from Ghostface. But besides that, it's just all these trailers just make it seem like it's a big horror film. And at the same time, it's I don't know. Sometimes horror, especially this franchise, seems pretty cool, but I don't know. It didn't do anything big. It didn't have a big impact on me, so it was good. Now, for me, I'm kind of surprised that they actually had a TV spot for this film when we just got the trailer for it, 2 days before. But, I mean, I guess we'll talk both about the trailer and the TV spot here. So, the trailer itself that we got on Friday, February 10th, I thought it worked really nicely. Of course, the whole franchise, up to this point in time, it's just been cars doing crazy stuff. If you watch F9, it's probably the craziest it's ever been, where you have a car swinging like Tarzan, and then cars going up into space. And of course, metal cars as well, where you have cars, metal detecting everything. But with this film, doesn't seem like it's going to do much of that. It seems a little bit more to the tone of what Fast and Furious 6 is, where it's a lot more serious, and, obviously it can go jokey and it can go dumb fun, but it can also be a little bit more serious in the tone and the story. Whereas F9, I couldn't really find the tone and story seriously because what exactly are we trying to stop? Who exactly are we trying to stop? Who's our villain in the film? And it was just so weird. This film, I feel because it's the Infinity War of the franchise, it feels like it's gonna be a little bit better than the other films. And of course, when they announced that Jason Momoa was gonna be in here, I didn't know he was going to be a villain. Like, I truly did not think he was going to be a villain. But then when you watch the trailer and you're like, oh wait, he's the son of the villain from the best Fast and Furious film in Fast 5. And that's my favorite film in the Fast and Furious franchise. And so I'm like, dang, they're actually connecting it. Though it does kind of feel parallels to what Furious 7 did and Fast and Furious 6. But overall, like, and then even, of course, the action, bringing in Brie Larson, bringing John Cena back, bringing in Shaw and Han and all those different characters. The movie itself just looks like a fun time, while at the same time hopefully handling the story. The only thing that bums me about this film is The Rock's not here. The whole reason why this whole franchise became an action franchise is because of The Rock. And he also came back in the 6th film because he needed Dom's team to stop people. And now it just feels like what? It just feels weird now. Like I understand the whole thing with Justin Lin and Vin Diesel and The Rock, but I would say he was the heart of the franchise when it turned into the action franchise. Before it was a race car franchise, Dom and Brian were the heart. Now The Rock's not in here, and it was just boring. I guess you could say that's also why I didn't like F9 as much. But besides that, I mean, the TV spot doesn't show too much. It just shows, a couple new scenes. A couple scenes we've seen before from the previous trailer. Nothing too special, but it was very good. Now, this was a teaser that I actually didn't see in the Super Bowl, but then I kept seeing this sort of intro to this thing on, Instagram and stuff, and I was like, oh, so that's part of the TV spots for the movie, and I'm like, that actually looks pretty cool. I mean, I heard that this is like from a old Mario TV show from somewhere in the past. I don't remember. I don't know what that Mario show was, but it was actually really cool. Whereas like it felt very classic, iconic, and it fit into here. And overall, I thought it was a nice little one. But honestly, there's not much to really talk about here. It's just a little intro, nothing too crazy or big. Now, much like the other trailers, like F9 and other trailers, this one I feel like does a little bit better of just kind of... Of course, there's a couple of shots in there that we've seen, but they show a bit of new shots and new scenes that I think is enjoyable, and I really hope that I'm going to be able to watch all the Indiana Jones films and hopefully go see this new film in theaters when it comes out June 30th, because it looks like a really interesting, cool action adventure film that brings you back to those old ages of action adventure films. Which also kind of makes me curious as to why Steven Spielberg isn't directing it, because he literally directed the first 4 films from Indiana Jones. So overall, I'm still excited for this film, and the TV spot was also pretty good. Now, this was a movie I actually didn't know too much about when seeing the teaser for this, but when I saw it, it was like, oh, so the movie's about the creation of the Jordans that were inspired from Michael Jordan, the basketball player. I'm like, that's actually a pretty interesting movie. Like, I never thought I would actually get excited about a movie of the creation of famous shoes from a basketball player. Like, that's interesting. And then even then, the other thing that interests me is that you have Ben Affleck directing this movie, starring in it, and he's teaming up again with Matt Damon, which I think he teamed up with him in another movie. I forgot the name of it, but all that said, it just looks like a pretty cool movie, and I thought the TV spot in the little trailer that we got was overall really good. Now, I never exactly watched the Dungeons and Dragons films or the Dungeons and Dragons video games, but I have to say, I feel like every single trailer that they've launched for this movie, like, I remember I went to go see Wakanda Forever again with my friends, and I remember seeing the trailer for this, and I'm like, not gonna lie, this looks actually pretty cool. And then I saw the TV spot for it, and I'm like, this is actually like really cool. Like, it's so action packed. The action looks great. All the world and characters look so weird and cool, and it looked like something I would actually enjoy, even though I haven't seen any of the other films. So that's kind of my thoughts on Dungeons and Dragons. Now, there's not really much that is new here in this movie teaser, in this TV spot, but it does a new way of showing you familiar scenes without going, like, too far into it. Where, but if I'm being honest, I think the reason why it's higher on this list is because of all the movies that it's on this list, whenever I see a trailer for this movie, I just get so hyped up. Where it's like, oh man, like, this movie looks so good. Like, I could watch the trailers for this movie all day. And I think that's probably the boxing aspect of it. That's kind of why, because, I guess boxing movies are meant to get you pumped up. And this movie gets you pumped up every time I watch a trailer for this. Whether it's scenes I've seen before, I will watch all the trailers for this movie all day because it just looks so freaking good. I can't wait. And overall, the TV spot itself was good. Now, much like Dungeons and Dragons, I actually haven't seen much of the Transformers movies. I saw like 2 last year to prepare for one of Michael Bay's new films, but I'd never seen much of that franchise. And so, I saw the trailer for the new one a couple months ago. Pretty good. Looked cool enough. And then we get this trailer, and I thought it kind of blew me a little bit way better. Obviously it's the familiar shots, but it just shows a little bit more of interesting stuff. You get to see more of Anthony Ramos, which my sister was going crazy for because she loves Anthony Ramos, and she's gonna go see this movie because of him. I thought that was also just really cool, and just more of the robot action that you love from these films. It's cool, so I enjoyed it. All right, now, so as we're entering the top 2, I'm just gonna say this: every other trailer up to this point in time, the top 2 are trailers that I just absolutely loved. So these are my favorite trailers from the Super Bowl. Now, of course, I've always been excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And, coming off of, the first trailer, I thought that first trailer was great. Really made me so excited for this film. And I feel like that this new trailer got me excited for the movie even more. Where, of course, it's a little bit more heartfelt. It's on the more comedic side of it. But it really presents, like, a lot of jokes. But at the same time, it's not like it's just... It doesn't feel like what Thor Love and Thunder was, where it was just populated by so many jokes, where it just feels like a whole jokey fest. But it feels like it fits, where it's like it's presenting itself like it's gonna be a funny movie, but at the same time it's ending this era of the Guardians and being such a fun film, while at the same time handling that story. Part of me can say that they did kind of handle the tone a little bit better with the first Guardians, with the tone and with the humor and the seriousness. But honestly, I feel like that this trailer was just to have fun, and I feel like you felt that throughout this trailer, throughout all the jokes, and honestly, like, I keep rewatching it, and like all the chemistry between Peter, Nebula, and 2014 Gamora, that was like my favorite parts of this trailer. We get to see more of Adam Warlock. We get to see more of Baby Rocket. We get to see more of Buff Groot. And then even then, as a fan, not exactly as big of a fan for the action in these films. This film seems like it's gonna have the best action in the film. Where it's like it's kind of taking inspiration from what great MCU films usually do, where it has while it has the humor and action, where it has the seriousness and great story. It has to do action, and that's what this film is going to do. And, I mean, you have to do some sort of big action and better action in the films when you had them do stuff like that in, like, Endgame. So I think that makes a whole ton of sense. So overall, I am just beyond excited for this film, and from the humor to the action to the characters. Hopefully, our favorite characters don't die. I'm pretty sure it's pretty sure that Drax and Rocket are gonna die, but I can't wait for Guardians 3. Now, if you guys saw my upcoming DCEU ranking of the films that are coming out in the DCEU until James Gunn does his DCU thing, I had The Flash towards the bottom of the list because I just don't understand why everybody's so excited for this film. Because after everything that's going on with Ezra Miller, it just seems like a weird thing to still do this movie after everything that's still happening. And even then, like, the actual story of it doesn't really make sense. He wants to go save his mom, but then you're bringing in Supergirl in here, and then Michael Keaton's Batman, which of course it's exciting to see, but like, how does it make sense in light of the story? And then you get this trailer, and I mean, first off, you got to talk about like the fact like this movie looks so much fun. The fact that you get, but like, not that it's fun where you got all these characters coming back and returning, but you have a story that makes sense in light of it, which I started realizing, like, what's the whole, why does everybody like the Flash character so much? Like, what is the whole point of doing all these speedster superheroes? Like, what makes this character so special that everybody loves him? What makes this character that's so special that everybody loves the Flash show? Like, what makes it so good? And basically, in this film, it sets up a story that his superpower is speed. He can run forward. And so, if he just ran a little forward, he could have went and saved his mom. And so he, like, stays in this universe so he can protect his mother. And it creates this story where he's messing up the universe, and he's creating different alternatives. So, like, there's a world with no Superman, and so General Zod is the villain of the film, which is an interesting story that ties back into the events of the first DCEU film in Man of Steel. And then, so instead of having Superman, you have Supergirl, Kara Kent, and then you also have another Barry Allen in here. And then, of course, you are bringing back Ben Affleck's Batman in here with the more blue and gray textures on his suit. And then, of course, the big highlight of the whole trailer was seeing Michael Keaton as Batman from the 1989 Batman film was awesome. Where Flash is like, I created a world with no metahumans. Now there's no one to protect us. And then you hear Michael Keaton's voice in the background saying, "Want some help?" You see the Batman mask in the background, and then you're like, you are, and then he's like, "Yeah, I'm Batman." And then he zooms down and takes out all these guys with guns, and it's just so awesome. And I was even surprised at how the CGI looked in this scene, because I was thinking, like, it's just gonna be like the older films where he's not gonna be fighting as much, but because it's present day, They made him look so badass and so cool. And as an older Batman guy, he fits it. I love this. And even the suit looks awesome. And possibly better than the Batman films, than the suits that we got in a Batman film. And even all the other Batman suits that we got, like all of it. It was so much fun. I really want to be there. The only thing that I'm contradicting is, which movie am I going to see when this movie comes out? Because there's a movie that comes out the same week as this, which is The Flash and Elemental, which is the next Pixar film. So would I rather go see a DC superhero film that's going to bring back a iconic DC character from another DC franchise, or am I going to see a animated Pixar film from Disney? I'm not really sure, because I love Pixar and I love DC. I love superhero films, but I also love Pixar. It's gonna be a little difficult, but we'll figure it out when it comes up. But overall, I loved the Flash trailer, and that's why it's my favorite film teaser for the Super Bowl. Alright, so that's pretty much everything I have to say for this. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. All my social media stuff is in the About section over there. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.